You know, for years, HomeServices of America has been one of real estate's quiet giants. I mean, a massive company that just preferred to stay in the background. But in an industry that's being completely reshaped by tech and consolidation, well, staying quiet isn't really an option anymore. So let's break down the major shift that's happening inside one of the industry's biggest players.
Wow. Okay, that's the new president and CEO, Chris Kelly, and he is not mincing words. This isn't just some small course correction, right? This is a bold declaration of intent. He's signaling a brand new, much more assertive era for the company.
So, what's really driving this? Is it just a new logo and a catchy tagline? Or is there a fundamental strategic plan at work here? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack in this explainer.
To really get why this is such a big deal, we first need to wrap our heads around the sheer scale we're talking about. HomeServices of America is, to put it mildly, absolutely massive.
Let's just start with their people. We are talking about 64,000 agents across the country. That is an enormous network of professionals on the ground. And what does that network produce? Over $250 billion in sales volume. Every single year. 260 billion. I mean, the numbers are just staggering.
And this number shows you just how deep their reach goes. It's not just one company. It's a whole ecosystem of over 100 different businesses that cover every single part of the transaction, from the first search all the way to the final closing. So with that incredible scale in mind, let's look at the core philosophical change that's driving this new direction. The real shift here isn't just about being bigger or louder, it's about how the company fundamentally sees itself and its responsibilities.
Now, this slide is really interesting because it shows the contrast. Historically, they acted like a holding company, very hands-off, just letting their local brands do their own thing. The new model, though, it's a parent entity, which means taking responsibility, providing unified value, and having a single national voice.
And here's the CEO explaining it himself. This quote just perfectly captures that change in mindset. It's a move from being a passive owner to being an active leader, with a real obligation to deliver tangible value to their agents and brokerages.
Okay, so how do you deliver that value across such a massive organization? You start by fixing the plumbing, and they are undertaking a huge project to unify all of their internal systems. You see, that old hands-off approach had one major downside. It was wildly inefficient. When every single brokerage is doing things its own way, you just create complexity and waste. This quote from the CEO really highlights the core problem they're trying to solve now.
And here are the concrete steps they're taking. They're cutting their tech vendors from a chaotic 130 down to a manageable 3. They're rolling out a single unified CRM for everyone, and they're bringing all that data together. The goal is simple. Start working smarter, not harder.
Now, this is a really important point to make. They're standardizing the back end, the technology, not the local identity. They believe their local leadership and brands are a huge advantage, and they have absolutely no intention of changing that.
With a unified internal system in place, they can now build a unified external voice, and that's become absolutely critical in today's fast-moving real estate world. HomeServices is planning to step out of the shadows and take a leading role in actually shaping the future of the industry.
And they are not shying away from the big, tough topics. We're talking about the seismic debates facing real estate right now, private listings, consolidation, and the massive impact of artificial intelligence. They intend to have a strong, clear position on all of them.
So why do this? Well, because their agents are seeing the same crazy headlines that we all are, and they're looking for leadership. They want to know that their parent company is actually in the arena, fighting for their interests on a national stage.
Okay, let's tie all of this together. A unified backend and a new national voice sound great, but what's the real-world impact? I mean, why does this actually matter to you?
So, what's the end game for the consumer? It's this. They want their online experience to be just as seamless as their in-person one. You know how you can walk into one of their offices and meet your agent, a loan officer, a title pro, and an insurance agent all in one place? They want to replicate that exact one-stop shop convenience, but digitally.
Now, of course, whenever you talk about bundling services like this, a big red flag goes up for compliance, specifically around a law called RESPA. It's designed to prevent illegal kickbacks for referrals between all these different services.
But Kelly, who's a former attorney, addresses this head-on. He says the legal trouble comes when you try to force or incentivize agents to use your in-house services. HomeServices' approach, he says, is totally different. It's not about carrots or sticks. It's about building a system that is simply better and easier for the consumer.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. The entire strategy boils down to this one simple idea. If you create a unified compliance system that delivers the easiest, most seamless experience for the home buyer or seller, well, that makes the agent's job easier too. It really is a win-win.
So as this quiet giant finally awakens, consolidating its technology and amplifying its voice, it leaves us with a huge question for the entire industry. Are we watching home services create the new playbook that other major brokerages are all going to be forced to follow?